Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Subject Computer Science for 12th Standard. Unit 3 Modularity and OOPS. Chapter number 6 Part 1 List, Tuples, Sets and Dictionary. So last class we completed the chapter 8. Now we are going to start new chapter, chapter number 9. In this chapter we are going to see the first topic, Introduction to List. So what is list? List is a data type in Python programming. There are four different types of special data types used in Python language. They are list, tuple, set and dictionaries. So in this chapter we are going to discuss all these data types one by one. The first topic is list. So the condition for using list in Python is a square sequence data type. So a list in a Python is known as sequence data type like string. It is an ordered collection of values enclosed within a square bracket. So the condition for using a list data type in Python that we can add many datas within a square bracket. If you add many datas within a square bracket, then these datas are called the list data type. Each value in a list is called as an element. It can be of any type such as numbers, characters, strings and even the nested list as well as. So in each and every list may contain numbers, characters, strings and even the nested list. Nested means a list within a list. A list within a list. The elements can be modified or mutable. Mutable means can be changed, like replacing, adding, removing elements from a list is possible in Python. Each and every element in Python is indexed with a number which starts from 0. So this is the 5 different points which we should understand in this topic. Number 1, list is a data type. List can be used within the square bracket. When in the square bracket, we can add many elements. The elements may be numbers, characters, strings, and even nested list. Each and every element can be modified. It means we can replace, we can add, or we can remove. And each and every element in a list is indexed with a 0, which starts from the first element. So the index number for the first element in list is 0. Now we are going to see the next topic, how to create a list. In the Python we can create list within a simple syntax. Here you can see you want to write the variable name. After using is equal symbol, you want to start the list elements by square bracket. So you can add many elements in the list. When you complete the list elements, you should enclose with the close square bracket. So this is the simple method for creating list. In the example you can see here Mars is the variable name, 10, 23, 41, 75 are the list elements for the Mars variable. So in the same way, if you want to create a fruits variable, here you can see you can add a string also a element, but the condition is you should use double quotation for adding a string as a element in list. And the third example explain we can create empty list also. Empty list means without element we can create a variable with data type list. In the fourth example we can see we can create a list with a mix of many data types. Like here you can see the first element of this list is welcome. This type, the data type for this element is string. So the second element is 3.14. The data type for this element is float. The third element is 10. The data type for the element is integer. That means whole number. The fourth element of this list is another list. It means nested list. In the first topic we discussed that we can create a list as an element inside a list. So this is called a nested list. So list can be identified by a square bracket. So we should enclose all the elements within the square bracket. We can use all the type of data in a list. So in the example you can see the different types of list. So now we are going to understand how to access the elements of the list. Of course each and every element in the list is indexed with 0, which we already discussed, and it also indexed with a negative number. See in the example you can see mass is the list data type which contain 4 elements, 10, 23, 41, 75. For accessing each element, we should know the index number for the element. So if you take a positive index number, then the first element index number is 0, second element is 1, third element is 2, fourth element is 3. If you take the negative index number, then the first element is -4, third element is second element is -3, third element is -2, fourth element is 75. It is just like array which we already discussed. With just like a string, string data type, where we already discussed. That is, if you take the positive number, then the positive number starts from the left side and begins with the 0. If you take the negative number, the negative index number starts from the right side of the element, which starts from the -1 and end at the left side. So for creating a list and printing the accessing the list element, here is the example. So this is the variable, list variable, and this is the elements. If you access any one of the element from this list, then you should use variable name, that is list variable name. After that, within the square bracket, you should mention the index number. So without index number, we are unable to access the element of the list. Now we are going to see how to create a list and how to access the element within a list in the example program 9.1. So now I'm going to open the Python program and the example program 9.1, where we're going to discuss how to create a list and how to access a list elements using index number. So first open the Python program, and then I'm going to open the program 9.1. So Python is open. Now from the prompt, press Ctrl+O, type the file name P9.1, the first program of the chapter. So in this program, you can see a list is created, namely mass. There are 4 elements. So there are 2 statements are used to access the element. One for the example of positive index number, and second one is for negative index number. So print mass of 0. So 0 index number refers to first element of the index, that is 10. So print mass of -1. -1 refers to the last element of the element, because index number for the negative number starts from the right side to left side. That is last element to first element. So -1 is referred to 75. When we run this program, we can see 10 and 75 is printed on the screen. So as output, you can see 10 and 75, because the mass for the first mass element 0 index number refers to first element, that is 20. If you change the program here, you can see. Now I'm going to change the program mass as -2 and mass as -2. So here the 2 index number refers to third element, that is 41. -2 refers to the second element, that is 41. So if you want to access this 41 element, then you can use either the positive number as a 2 or negative number -2. Now when we run the program, you can see 2 times the 41 element is printed on the screen. This element is printed through the positive number. This element is printed through the negative number. So this is the simple example to understand the list, creating list and accessing the list element. Now we are going to see the next topic, accessing all elements of list. So in the previous topic, we access how to we know how to access a single element from the list. Now in this example, in this topic, we are going to see how to access all the elements from the list. So if you want to access all the elements from the list, you should use the elf loop. It may be for loop or while loop. So here you can see the same example is taken here. So the 5 times is loop run. Each and every time the index number is starts from the 0. By using this index number, we access the element 10 and 23, 41, 75 and added into the display onto the screen. So in the same way, this is also the example for accessing the loop element using negative index number, and we are accessing all the elements of the program, all the elements of the list. So if you open the program, you can easily understand the concept how to use loop for accessing list elements. Now in this program, you can see a list is created, mass 10, 23, 41, 75. the first concept is to use positive index number to access the element. So here we run the loop called while loop. So while loop starts from 0 and end up to 3. So this is the 4 is the topmost category, that is upper limit of the loop. So loop starts from 0 and end at 3. So each and every time when loop runs, by using this I value as an index number, we access the element and printed on the screen. And each time when we print, we increase the index number I value from 0 to 1. So in this way we access all the elements of the a loop element. So first time when the I value is 0, 10 is printed, and then I value is incremented by 1. So next time when when loop execute, then the second element is printed because the index number is 1. So again we increment the I value from 1 to 2. Then now the I value is 2. Then we access the third element of the element list and printed on the screen. In the simple way, we access all the elements of the list and printed on the screen. In the same way, in the second example here, you can see we use the index number from -1 and give the condition that I greater than or equal to -1. So of course -1 is greater than -4. That's why we change the condition here. So whenever the condition runs, by using this index number, we print the screen and we add the values. So here you can see the I value is -1 when the first iteration start. So -1 plus -1 is equal to -2. So in the same way, the second time by using the -2 index number, we access the uh, third element. So next we access the second element, and next we access the first element. Now I'm going to run the program. Here you can see all the elements are accessed 10, 23, 41, 75 because we started the index number from 0 and end at the 3. Here we started the index number from -1 now and end at the -4. So here, this loop system is also called as reverse method of accessing the loop element, or negative index method for accessing the list elements. So now we are going to see the next topic, how to find the length of the list. Here length represent the number of elements in a list. So by using this length function, we can access the number of element present in the list, which can be used in a program. So now we can understand the length function using program 9.1 9.3. So I'm going to open the program 9.3, where we are going to understand the len function. So len function is used to find the number of element present in the list. So here example list is my subject, list name is my subject. There are different subjects are inserted here. So by using the len function, we identify the length of the my subject list. So len of my subject. So this function returns the number of element present on the list and display on the screen. By using the length, we can able to access the all the elements of the list and display on the screen. Here we can use this len function when we don't know how many elements are in the list. So in the previous example in 9.2, we specify the number of times or upper limit, that is 4 or 5. But here we use the len function because we don't know how many elements are in the list. If you know the number of elements in the list, then you can specify the number here. If you don't know the number of elements in the list, then you can use the len function to find the number of elements in the list, and you can use the number length function's value here as a condition for the upper limit in the while loop. So I'm going to run this program. Here you can see length of the list is 4. Each and every elements are accessed and printed on the screen by using the positive index number. Here we specify in this previous program we specify the upper limit, but here we are using len function to specify the upper limit for the loop. So this is the another method of accessing elements in the list. Now we are going to see the next topic, accessing elements using for loop. So in previous two example, we use while loop in 9.3 and 9.2. Now in this program, that is in 9.4, we are going to use for loop for accessing the elements in the list. So the simple value, the syntax for using the for loop. Of course, we know for loop index variable in list. So if you mention the in list, then you don't even want to use len function for specifying the upper limit, because for loop will automatically access each and every element and display in the screen. So this is the simple method for using, for accessing for loop for accessing all the elements in the list. So the next program is 9.5, where we are going to see how to use for loop, how to use for loop in a list. So sorry, 9.4. So open the program 9.4, where we are going for loop. The advantages of using for loop for accessing the list element is we don't want to use len function, or we don't want to mention upper limit, because for loop will automatically access all the elements one by one and print on the screen. So here we simply mention for x in and marks. Then marks is a list element, so each element is indexed with 0 to 1. By using that element, all the elements are accessed one by one and printed on the screen. Here the advantage is we don't want to mention the index value, we don't want to mention we don't want to use the len function, we don't want to increase the index value in one by one like in for loop. So the best way for accessing the list elements is for loop. So here we are going to run the program. You can see all the elements are accessed without giving the upper limit, without using len function, without incrementing index value for the loop. So next program is to identify next program is changing the list element. So in this program we can change the list element. In Python, lists are mutable, which means they can be changed. A list can be element, a list element or range of element can be changed or altered by using the simple assignment operator. The syntax is list variable name, mention the index number. If you want to change the particular element, then give the new value. Or if you want to change the whole value or the range of value, then you can mention the index from colon index 2. So index from means the starting index number value of the element, index 2 means the last element of the range which you want to change, and you want to give the new values for the range. So here in this example we are going to see how to change a list elements. In 9.5 we are going to discuss how to change the list element. Program 9.5, here you can see a list is created, namely my list, where 5 elements are created, and all the elements are printed by using for loop. After that, the third element, that is the 5 is changed into 6 by using the index value, positive index value. After changing the third element of the list, that is index 2 is equal to 6, then we print the same element, all the elements of the list. You can see how value is changed into the new, how the third element is changed into the new value. So when you run the program, the first my list element before update, that is 2458. Of course, after changing the value, you can see third element is converted into 6. So when we create the list, the third element is 5. Now we change the element into 6 by using a simple statement, my list, specify the index number. If you want to change a specific single value, then you should specify the single element, single index number, then give the new value for that index, new value for that element. So after changing the value, if you access the element, you can see the difference. So here you can see the difference, that in the original list the third element is 5. After changing the third element, you can see the third element is converted into 6. This is how we can change the element, single element of the list. If you want to change the range of element, then you can use the from index and to index value. Here we are going to see how to change the range of values of the list. So In 9.6 you can see same list is created with 5 element. Very first we print all the odd numbers, all the odd numbers. uh, After that we use to change the numbers into from this range 0 to 5. So 0 to 5 means all the elements of the list. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So all the elements are changed into 2, 4, 6, 8. So in this list you can see all the elements are odd numbers. That's why we print list odd numbers. So we print all the odd numbers. After we change the odd numbers into even and we print the even numbers. So in the first section we try to print as it is the values in the list. After using the my list 0 is to 5. So 0 is to 5 means starting from index number to index number. From this index number to this index number, then the view values are given here. These new values are added and replaced with the existing value. After changing the existing value, we try to print the content. So after printing the content, again we try the change the specific range of values, that is 3 to 5. So 3 to 5 means from the fourth element to sixth element, 3 are changed into 60, 80, 100. Now we are going to see how these elements are changed and how they display on the screen. So when you run the program, you can see the output list odd numbers. This one is the original number 13579. Again we change all the elements by using the index number 0 is to 5. Here in the program you can see that so in this program you can see index number 0 to 5. The values are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 is replaced with the existing value, and then we print all the content. After that we try to change the specific ranges from 3 to 5. It means from the fourth element to fifth element. Now the fourth element is converted into 60, that is 7 is converted into 8 is converted into 60, 10 is converted into 80, and the 100, the last element is added into the list. So by using the 3 is to 5. So by specifying the range of values, we can change the range of values in the list. Again after changing this, we try to print the content on the screen. So here you can see 2, 4, 6. The fourth element is converted into 60, fifth element is converted into 80, that is 10 is converted into 80, and 100, the last element is appended, that means added into the list. So this is how we can change the range of value in the list by using the index range value. So now we are going to discuss the next topic, are adding more elements in a list. So we can add more elements in a list by using two functions, list oriented function. One is append, another one is extend. Append function is used to add a single element, and extend function is used to add more than one element. So difference between the append and function extend is append function is used to add single element, whereas extend function is used to add more than one element in the Python list. Now we are going to understand this append and extend function by using the program 9.7. So now I'm going to open the program 9.7. Here you can see we created a original list where we have three elements 34, 45, 48. The original elements are printed on the screen. After we use the append function and try to change the add the single element to the existing list, that is a single element added to the existing list 90. After adding the 90 element to the existing list, we try to print the content on the screen, and then we use the extend function where we try to add more than one element. Here you can see 71, 32, 29, three elements are added by using the extend function. In the append function we use only one element. We can use only one element to add a new element to the existing list, that is my list. The simple example is list name, that is my list dot append. Within the parentheses you should give the single element. If you are try to add a string as a element, then you should use a double quotation or single quotation for a string element. So now I'm going to run the program. You can see the original list output 34 45. After appending, that is we added a single element at the 90 at the end of the list, and after we are adding the 90 into the list by using append function. By using extend function, we try to add here three more elements in a single instant, that is 71 32 29 to the existing element. So now at the end of the program, the list is converted into 7 element. At the beginning, the list have only 3 element. At the end of the list, we can see 7 element is in the list. To one element is added by using append, and 3 elements are added by extend function. So this is how we add the list element into the existing list. Now we are going to see the next topic, inserting elemental list. So by using append and extend, we can add new element to the list, but the new elements are added at the end of the list. So here you can see in the output, each and every time when we use append and extend function, the new element, that is the 90 is the new element for the list which was added at the last. 71 32 29 is the new for the new elements which are added at the end of the list. So by using append and extend, we can add new element to the list, but the new elements are added at the end of the list. If you want to add the new element at a specific position, then you should use the insert function. So here, if you want to include an element at your desired position, you can use insert function. The insert function is used to insert an element at any position of a list. The simple example is list dot list name dot insert. Within the insert, you should mention two argument. One is position index, where you want to add new element, and the new value, that is new element value for the list. So we can understand this insert function in the program 9.8. So open the program 9.8. Here you can see a list is created with the mixture of two different data types. Here you can see first three elements are integer values. The last four elements are string elements. The original string values are printed on the screen. After that, we try to use insert function, where we try to change the index number 3, that is the fourth element is going to in the fourth position, we are going to in the third index number, we are going to add a new value, that is Ramakrishna. So it means in the Kannan place, we are going to add the Ramakrishna, and other elements are shifted to new places in the new positions. So now I am going to run the program. You can see the original content 34 98 47 Kannan, Gauri Shankar, Lenin, Srinivasan. After using the insert function, so here you can see after using the insert function, you can see the third index number. The third index number for the element is Kannan. The Kannan holds the third element. We are trying to insert a new value at that position. So the new value is Ramakrishna is inserted in the third index number. The Kannan, which already exists in the third element, is shifted to next places. So all the elements from that position is shifted to next places. So in this way, we can add new element to the list at the desired position. So if you add a new element to the list at a desired position, you can use insert, where you want to mention the index number where you want to add a new value. If you add two element, if you want to add a single element at the end of the list, then you can use append. If you add more elements in at the end of the element, then you can use extend function. So now we are going to see the next topic, deleting elements. Of course, we understand how to insert element, how to append or extend element. Now we are going to understand how to delete the element from the list. So for deleting a element from a list, we can use remove function. So remove function or del statement is used to no elements, whereas remove function is used to delete element of list if its index number is unknown. So there are two ways for del and removing function. One is del and remove function. So del statement is used to delete known elements, whereas remove function used to delete elements of a list if its index is unknown. So now we are going to see how to use del statement as well as a remove function. So open the program 9.9, where we are using del function for removing a list element from the list. So here you can see original list with four elements, that is all the elements are string: Tamil, Hindi, Telugu and Max. The original list is printed on the screen. After that we use a del statement where we specify del my subject 1. It means the index number 1 element is removed, that is Hindi is removed from the list. After we print the content, and again we use the del statement where we use to delete the range of element from 1 to 3. It means after removing Hindi, the in the index number 1 the Telugu is placed, and the index number 3 index number 2 Max is placed. So at index number, the upper limit is not is included in the condition. So these two elements is also removed, that is Telugu and Max is also removed, and the content is displayed here. And we use delete my subject, which without index number, it means then all the elements from the list is removed. So del statement is used to remove the specific or range of element or all the element from the list. So by using del statement, we can delete single element, or we can delete um, a range of element, or we can delete all the elements. So if you want to delete a single element, then specify the single index number. If you want to delete the range of element, then mention the upper limit and the lower limit for the index in the del statement. If you want to delete all the element, then don't mention any index number, simply type del my subject. Now when we run this program, you can see the output. So the original string is, original list is Tamil, Hindi, Telugu. After we are deleting the index number 1, the index number 1 is Hindi, so Hindi is removed. The other elements are displayed on the screen. So you can see Tamil, Telugu, Max. After we try to delete the element from 1 to 3. So here 1 to 3 means Hindi, Telugu to Mass, all the elements are removed. The only one element Tamil is balanced, which was displayed on the screen. After deleting all the element, when we try to remove the list without giving the index number, then we can see the error. Here you can see the error. That means name my subject is not defined. It means when you use del function, when you use del statement for removing all the element of the list, then del statement will delete all the elements of list, as well as it also delete the list. So it also delete the list. Here you can see name error, my subject is not defined. It means after applying this statement del my subject, so this del statement delete the elements as well as the list. So that's why Python unable to find the my subjects list. So this is how we can use the del function. Now the other example, that is remove function, which also used to remove the elements from the list. The difference between the remove and the del function is, remove function can also be used to delete one or more element if the index value is not known. Apart from remove function, pop function can also be used to delete an element. So here pop function deletes and return the last element of a list if the index is not given. The function clear is used to delete all the elements in a list. So in this topic we are going to discuss three functions, namely remove, second one is pop, third one is clear. So using the remove function in the list, syntax for using the remove function in the list is list name dot remove, within the parentheses mention the element. So here we don't want to mention the index number, we should mention the element. So remove function is used to remove the element which was already known. So if you want to of already known elements. So again, when we use to remove or delete elements from the list, then we can use pop function where we want to mention the index of an element. So clear function will clear all the elements of the list. Now we can understand this remove, pop, clear three function in the program 9.10. So open the program 9.10. Here you can see a original list is created with 60 elements, 12, 89, 34, Kannan, Gauri, Shankar, Lenin. We print the original list. After that, we try to use a remove function where we remove the element 89. So we remove the element 89 and try to print the content. After printing the content, now we are going to remove the single element by using the pop function where we are going to mention the index number. So simple difference between a remove and pop is, if you want to remove a single element by using remove function, then you should give the element. Here in the pop function you should give the index of the element. So after, by using the element pop function, we remove the first index number one element and the content. By using the clear function, we clear all the elements of the screen, a list, and printed the list. So when you run the program, you can see the output here. Original string 12, 89, 34, Kannan, Gauri Shankar, Lenin is printed on the screen. After we remove the 89 by using the remove function, so 89 is removed, other elements are printed on the screen. Now the existing element is 12, 34, Kannan, Gauri Shankar, Lenin. Now we are using pop function where we used to remove the index number 1. It means the existing list is 12, 34, Kannan, Gauri Shankar, Lenin. Then index number 1 refers to 34. Then the 34 is removed from the list. Then balance element are printed on the screen 12, Kannan, Gauri Shankar, Lenin. Then we are using the clear function to remove all the elements of the existing list. That is 12, Kannan, Gauri Shankar, Lenin. All the elements are removed by using clear function, and you can see the empty square bracket is printed on the screen. It means clear function only remove the delete the elements, and list is exist. It means clear function delete only element, not the list, but del statement will remove the all the element as well as the list. So this is the difference between the clear function and the del statement. So again I repeat, del statement is used to delete all the element of the list, as well as del statement is used to delete the list variable. In clear function is used to delete all the elements of the list, but clear function is not going to delete the list variable. So list variable will exist when you use clear function. This is the difference between clear and the del function. So for removing the elements from the list, we have four different function. One is del statement, second one is remove function, third one is pop function, fourth one is clear function. So now we understand how to remove the elements from the list. Now we are going to understand the concept of range. So what is range? Range is a function used to generate a series of values in Python. So range function is used to create a series of values in Python, where there are three different arguments for this range. One is start value, another one is end value, third one is step value. Start value begins value of the series which we want to mention. So if you start value is not given, then 0 is the default value. So end value is the upper limit of the series. Python takes the end value as upper limit minus 1. Next, step value, it is an optional argument which is used to generate different interval of values. Now we are going to see how range can be used in the Python in the program 9.1. So open the program 9.11. Here you can see range value from 1 to 11 using start and end value. In the for loop, we are using the range value where we used to print the values from 1 to 10. So all the values from the 1 to 10 is printed on the screen. Here we have given only two argument. One is start value, another one is end value. In the second loop we have given three argument: start value, end value, as well as step value. So now when you run the program, you can see the difference. So at the first range you can see start value is 1, end value is 11. So before end value the range will terminate. So that's why the range ends at the 10. So in the second loop we have given three argument. The start value is 2, but each and every time whenever the second value next value is printed, the value interval between the two element is defined here, that is called step value. So each and every element must have a difference 2. So here you can see 2 plus 2 4, 4 plus 2 6, 6 plus 2 8, 8 plus 10, 8 plus 2 10. So after that the upper limit is 11. That's why the loop terminates at 10. So this is how we can use range in the Python program. Now we are going to use this range in different concept. So here you can see create a list with series of values. By using the range function, we can create a list. Now we can understand this program, understand this concept creating list with series in the program 9.12. So open the program 9.12. Here you can see uh, creating a even number list using range and list function. So the list name is even underscore list. So we create a function called range function and as well as list function, which is used to create new elements for the variable even underscore list. So in the range we mentioned three element. So starting value is 2, end value is 11, so step value is 2. So this range will create the value from 2 to 10. So values are 2 4 8, 2 4 6 8 10. So all the values are stored in the even underscore list. By using the print command we print the elements. After that, creating a 10 natural number list using append function, which we discuss later. First we run the program and understand up to these three statement. So here you can see creating a even number list using range value. So even value is created by using the range function. So 2 4 6 8 10 is created and stored in the variable even underscore list by using list function. So list function is used to store values into the variable. So next one is used to create natural numbers. Here we use square list variable where we specify the range value 1 to 11. Each and every time the index value is uh, square root of index number is each and element is calculated and added into the list by using append function. So here you can see the loop starts from 1 and end at the 10. So when first iteration start, the 1 power of 2 is calculated and stored in the variable s. By using the s, the append function, we add the value of s to the square function. And at the second, when we go for second range, the x value is 2. So 2 power of 2 is calculated and stored in the s. Again, by using the s value, we add the s value to the square function by using append. So append function is used to add the element to the list at the end of the list. So here you can see the first value is 1, the second value is 4, because the second value of the x is 2. So 2 power 2 4. Then third element is 3, so 3 power 2 9. Fourth element 4 power 2 is 16, 5 power 2 is 25. In the same way, all the square root values of natural number is calculated, and by using the append function they are added to squares, and finally we print the list value on the screen. So here we can use the range and list function in the Python program. Now I hope you understand the concept of using list and range function in the Python program. Next function is comprehensive. List comprehension is a simplest way of creating sequence of elements that satisfy a certain condition. So here list is equal to expression for variable in range. So by using range, we create a list of range of value and store directly into the list. But when we store directly the value in the list, we can specify some condition. We can specify some condition for the value. The values which satisfy this condition, that value only can add it to the list. So this is called a comprehension in the list, which can be understand by the program 9.13. So now I'm going to open the program 9.13. Here in the program you can see creating a 10 natural number list without using append function. So here you can see square is equal to x power of 2 for x in the range. It means by using the for loop we access the element from 1 to 10, because we mentioned the start value and end value. Here we didn't mention the step value, that's why each and every element incremented by 1. So all the elements are stored in the x one by one, and x is square the value for the x is calculated as square root, and store in the value, store in the variable squares. Then all the process is completed, the square value is printed. Here we are not using a append function, so that's why this is called a list comprehension. So creating 10 natural number list without using append function. The same output is generated here, where we use append function, for loop, and as well as the condition. But here in the comprehension method, we can give all the condition in a single line. This is called a list comprehension, where we want to mention the expression condition first and the range in the next within the square bracket. So in this way also we can create list in the Python. The simple way for creating list. Next one is the other important existing, it means built-in function related to list. So here you can see copy, count, index. These are the three important built-in function. So copy function you use to copy the list. So return a copy of the list. I simply copy all the list element and printed into the and the variable. In the example you can see my list is equal to 12, 12, 36. So x is equal to my list, that copy. Then this copy function copy all the element of my list and store in the variable x. So when you try to print the x value, then you can see 12, 12, 36. So actually this 12, 12, 36 is stored in the variable my list. So in the same way, count function you use to count the number of elements. It is just like len function, which also returns the number of elements in the list. So here you can see my list dot count 12. It means it count number of element matched to the existing element in the parenthesis. So len function will simply calculate number of element the list, but count function will calculate the number of element which matches to the element in the parentheses. So here the 12 is given in the count function. The count function will match each and element with this value. So the value which match to this element, it will count and display on the screen. So here 12 element exist for 2 times, then the output is 2. So this is the difference between count and len function. Len function count all the elements. Count function will count only the element which similar to the given value to the count function. Next function is index function. Return the index value of the first recurring element. Here we want to mention list dot index element. Then the element maybe exist more than one time, but in the list this element, when we occurred first time, the first occurrent index number is displayed on the screen. Now we are going to understand this program, these three function in 9.14 program. So in 9.14 I bundle all the functions. Now we see one by one. The first function is copy. Here you can see original list. By using copy function, we copy all the element and printed on the screen. Here we use the count function to count the element 12. So in the original list you can see 12 is 12 element is repeated for 2 times, then count function returns 2. Then we use the index value for 12, it will return 0, because 12 element is exist at the first element also, at first element itself. So when we run the program, you can see the So original list 12, 12, 36. Copy function, simply copy all the content and print it on the screen. All the copy content is stored in the variable x. The x variable is printed. This statement will print the content. Again, we use the count function. Here my list that count of 12 will display a number of element matched with the similar element, that is 12 matched with the element 2 times. That's why we get the output 2. Here index value is 12. First occurrence of the element, index value of the first element, given element, that is 0. So if you change the value, for example, if you change the value 36, then when you try to run the program, you can see index value will return the 36th element's index value. So 36 index value is 0, sorry 2. So that's why we get the output 2. So if you give the element which was not available in the list, for example 100, so my list that index of 100, then you run the program, then you can see the output shows error. It means the value 100 is not in the list, so that's why it shows view error. So when you try to use index function in my list, then be sure that the element which was given in the index should be available in the list. So that's why I'm going to give the available index element 45. So when you give the 12, then 12 is available for 2 times, but you will return only 0 because 12 occurs for the first element, 12 occurs at the position to 0. That's why return the 0. The second time when 12 same element is occurred is not accessed by the index value. So next function is reverse function. So reverse function simply revert all the element and print on the screen. So here you can see the output using reverse function. So the original element is 12, 12, 36, 45. When you use the reverse function, it simply revert all the content 98, 45, 36, 12, 12, all the elements of the list in the reverse order and printed on the screen. It is simply just like accessing all elements by using negative index number, which we already discussed in the previous topic. So without using for loop or while loop or index number, we can revert the list element by using a reverse function. So for what we want to do, we want to specify the list name and dot and put the reverse function. So simply all the element is reverted. After that we use the function called a sort function. Sort function is used to arrange all the elements. So here you can see reverse function, reverse the order of the element in the list. Sort function, sort the element in the list. In sort function, we have to give three values, two arguments. One is reverse is equal to true or false, key is equal to my function. So we first understand what is reverse. In the sort function, is first value is true. It means if reverse is set as a true, list sorting is in descending order. It means if the first argument of the sort function is true, then sort function arrange the element in descending order. And ascending is default. If you didn't mention any value here, then sort function accept it as a false, then arrange all the elements in ascending order. Then key is equal to my function, the name of the user defined function that specifies the sorting criteria. If you have any predefined or if you have any built-in or user defined function where you want to specify the criteria for sorting, then you can specify the function name here by using the key argument. So here you want to mention key is equal to function name. Now in this example we are using only the first argument, the second argument is optional. So here in the example you can see first we use sort where we are not mentioning any reverse value true or false. Then this function will consider as a ascending value for reverse and arrange all the element in ascending order. So when we mention the reverse argument as true, then this function consider as a descending order and arrange all the elements in descending order. In the output you can see when we run the program, the original list is Tilotama, Tarani, Anita, Sai Sri, Lavanya. So we use sort function without argument. It means all the elements are sorted in ascending order. So ascending order starts from A to and end at Z. So first Anita is printed on the screen, then Lavanya, then Sai Sri, then Tarani and Tilotama. So here we didn't mention the first argument for this sort function. Here in this function we mention the sort value, that is sort argument as a true. So that's why all the elements are sorted by descending order. So descending order starts from Z to A. That's why first element is Tilotama, second is Tarani, Sai Sri, Lavanya and Anita is printed on the screen. So here in the program you can see we use sort function for two times. So here we use sort function without reverse argument. Here we use sort function with reverse argument. If reverse argument is true, then uh, sort function arrange the element in descending order. Now next value is max function. So we try to understand max function returns the maximum value in a list. It means it compares all the values in the list and find out the maximum number or biggest number from the list and print on the screen. Here you can see 21, 76, 93. The biggest number or maximum number is 98, which was printed on the screen. Minimum function will display the smallest number or minimum number from the list, that is 21 is printed on the screen. Sum function will add all the elements value and printed on the screen. So here in the program you can see. So using max function we try to find out the maximum or biggest number from the list. So in the original list the biggest number is 98, which was printed on the screen. Using min function we find the smallest number in the list, that is 12 is printed on the screen. In the sum function we use to add the all the elements and display the value, the sum value on the screen, that is sum value is 203. So this is how we use sum function in the program. Next topic is example program in your book. In the this program we are going to understand how to use different types of list oriented function, list oriented built-in and predefined function, and list oriented statements for creating different types of program. So in the first program 9.1 you can see write a program that create a list of number from 1 to 20 that are divisible by 4. So this is the question. The program is already in in your book. So the same program is run here and try to execute the program one by one. So now I am going to open the program 9.15, which is used to print the content a range of value from 1 to 20 which are divisible by 4. So open the program 9.15. So here you can see a list name is divide by 2, divide by 4. For loop is used and the range value is mentioned here 21. So 21 is the upper limit. So the first starting value and step value is not mentioned here. It means 21 elements are printed up to 21, up to 20 elements are going to print here. First element is starts from 1. So each and every time we try to divide the range value with 4 and find out the remainder by using modulus function. So modulus function, of course we know, return the remainder. If the remainder is 0, then the element is added by using append function into the list. So in the same way from 1 to 20 all the elements are divided by 4 and find out the remainder. If the remainder is matched with the 0, then that elements only added to the div by 4 list by using append function. After that the list is printed on the screen. So here you can see the output 0, 4, 8, 12, 16, 21. So when you This is the number which are divisible by 4, calculated by this program. So in the range value, when you not mention any start value, then it starts from 0. That's why here you can see the first element as 0. So you can see all these numbers are divided by 0 and produce the remainder as 0. Other numbers are unable to produce the 0, unable to satisfy the condition. That's why other elements are not appended in this list. So in the same way, we are going to see the next program, program 9.16. This program is used to uh, bricks. See here, write a program to define a list of countries that are members of BRICS. Of course, BRICS is a group, a organization where many countries, Asian countries, are joined, and we are going to check whether the given value by the user is in the BRICS or not. So here you can see in the program 9.16, we have created a list, namely country, where we mention all the BRICS countries names. So India, Russia, Sri Lanka, China, Brazil. BRICS is abbreviated by the first letter of this country. Here you can see B for Brazil, R for Russia, I for India, C for China, S for Sri Lanka. These five countries organization is known called BRICS countries. So we used to get a value from the user and store the value in the variable is underscore member, and try to find the given value from the user is in the list. And if the given value is matched with the existing list element, then we show that is the member of BRICS, or we show is not a member of the BRICS. So we run the program. So program as enter a name of country. Now I'm going to enter a name India. Of course, India is in the BRICS country, so output is India. India is not in a BRICS country because the when we create a list, here you can see we used to give I as a capital letter, so that's why it shows the wrong message. So if you want to give the if you want to use this program, then be careful of the case sensitive. Now here, when we give the correct value, that is the first letter as capital letter, then you can see India is the member of BRICS. So again, when you try to run the program, same program. So now I'm going to give the other country name, for example, Japan. Now you can see Japan is not a member of BRICS. So the when you specify any condition in the list, then be careful, be aware of the case sensitive, yeah, and try to give correct value for the uh, input arguments. Now we are going to understand the second program 9.17, where we are going to identify Python program to read mass of 6 subjects and print the mass code in the each subject and show the total. So we are going to access 6 subjects from the user and try to find out the total and print the content on the screen. For that, we have written the program. Here a list is created, empty list is created, and subject list is created with all the subject. Here you can see Tamil, English, Physics, Chemistry, Computer Science, Maths. So we use for loop for accessing the marks from the user. So the range value is specified as 6. It means from 0 to 5 all the elements are accessed. Range is the for loop run from 0 to 5. So for 6 times this loop is going to run. 6 times is going to display the message enter marks. All the marks are accessed. 6 marks are accessed and added in the mass variable. After that, we print the mass variable content on the screen by using the format. Of course, we know format is a function. Format is a printing format, printing identity, which we discussed in the previous chapter, where we use these square brackets, sorry, flower brackets. So by using this format function, we try to print the content on the screen. So here we run the program. So for loop, that is I for loop runs for 6 times. So as for 6 marks, we simply give all the marks, and all the marks are stored in the variable marks. After that, J for loop will run, and all the marks and subjects are printed one by one. So here you can see 1 dot marks is equal to 25. So here for printing the one, we use the flower bracket format function. Another we put the dot. Again we use the flower bracket. This flower bracket acts as a placeholder, which we already discussed. So mass is equal to, for each and every flower bracket we mention the variable name. So j plus 1 means the j starts from 0 and end at the 5. That's why we add the number 1. So then only we get the output 1. Otherwise this index also starts from 0. So here you can see when I remove the j plus 1, so I simply give j, then you can see the difference. Then the j value index number starts from 0. Here you can see 0, 1, 2, 3. If you want to print in the proper manner, then you should mention the j plus 1 here. After that, we try to access the first index value from the subject variable and first index value from the mass variable and print on the screen. After running the j program, we try to use some function which add all the element values of any of marks and print on the screen. So that's where you get the output. Total marks is equal to 395. This is how we can use list function and list in the different programs. Now we are going to understand the next program, 9.18, where, sorry, 19, where we are where 9.18, where we are going to read prices of 5 items in a list and then display sum of all prices, product of all prices, and find the average. This is also similar to previous program, but here we are going to find the sum, product, and average for elements of list. So open the program 9.8, where we are going to access 5 element from the user, 5 prices of element from the user, and try to produce the product value and as well as the average value. So here you can see item list is created, product is equal to 1. So in for I loop, we run the for loop for 5 times, because of course we know we have definite range of value, that is 5. So that's why up to 5 we want to run the program. Each and every time we used to get the values from the user and add into the variable items that append. So each and every time whenever user enter the value, these values are converted into integer. That's why you use int function. Here you can see int function is used because to print the convert the given value into the integer. After converting the given value integer, by using the append function, we add the current value to the items. So in the same way, 5 times this loop runs and 5 values are accepted from the user, and each and every time these values are converted into integer and then they are appended in the item list. When j for loop runs, all the elements from the items are accessed one by one and printed on the screen. In the same way, all the elements are multiplied and stored in the in the variable product, where we used to store the product of all element. After that, we print the sum of items by using sum function. Product of items, of course, we already calculated in the j function and store in the product variable and store on the print. After that, we find the average by using sum divided by number of element. So len function is used to number of element. So sum function is used to sum of all the element. By using sum and len function, we find the average and print on the screen. So now I'm going to run the program. So enter price for first element, I'm going to enter 5. The second element 10, third element 15, fourth element 20, fifth element 25. Each and every element is added into the items. After that, j loop runs and print all the elements value one by one, and find the products of all element and stored into the product variable. After that, by using the sum function, we add all the values and display on the screen. The product is already calculated in the j loop and printed, the product value is printed on the screen, and sum by using sum and len function, we find the average and printed on the screen. So this is the explanation of the program 9.18. Now we are going to see the next program 9.19. So Python program to count the number of employees earning more than 1 lakh per annum. The monthly salaries of n number of employees are given. So in this program, we are going to access the monthly salaries of n elements, n employees, and calculate their annual income and find number of elements who earn more than 1 lakh per annum and display the result. So very simple program. So in this program, what we want to do, first we want to get the number of employees in the program. So here you can see, sorry, open 9.19. Here we start the variable count is equal to 0. For another variable is declared n, where we store the number of employees whom which we are going to calculate the number of employees who earn more than 1 lakh. After earning the number of employees, we run the loop. In for loop, we specify the range value as n, that is number of employees given by the user. For n values of employees are accepted and store their salary in the variable salary dot append, that is in the list salary, and each and every time the user give the value is converted into integer and stored into the variable salary list by using append function. After that, we run the j loop, where we find the annual salary of the employee by multiplying each element of salary with 12 and find the annual salary. And in the same loop, we find to uh, annual salary greater than 1 lakh, and by count function we count all the element, sorry, by using the count variable we increment each and every time whenever this condition is satisfied. So after that, we print the number of elements, number of employees in the industry, in the company, and as well as number of employees who earns more than 1 lakh by using format function. Now I'm going to run the program. Here you can see enter number of employees. Here we want to mention number of employees. So I'm going to enter the number of employees as 5. So number of employees is 5. Enter monthly salary for employee number 1. So monthly salary. So monthly salary is 5,000, 3,600. For the third employee, 7,000. For the fourth employee, 8,000. For the fifth employee, 5,400. So 5 times is I loop run. 5 times all the salaries of my each and every employees is accepted and stored in the variable salary. In the J loop, all the salaries are converted into annual salaries, annual earnings, and each and every time all the contents are calculated with this condition. The annual salary which satisfy this condition will counted into the variable count value, and finally we get the output. So in this output you can see 0 employees out of 5 earn more than 1 lakh per annum, because here we can see there is no employee who can earn more than 1 lakh per annum. So again I run the program, same program. Here I am going to enter uh, 3 employees, where I am going to give the monthly salary 12,000, 5,000, next uh, 9,800. Here you can see the annual income is 1,44,000 for first employee, 60,000 for second employee, 1,70,000 for third employee. In the J loop, based upon this condition, if condition, the 2 employees are satisfied this condition. That's why count variable will hold the value 2, which was displayed here. 2 employees out of 3 employees are earning more than 1 lakh per annum. So this is how we can use the list function in the program. Now the next program, 9.20, write a program, create a list of numbers in the range 1 to 10, then delete all the even number from the list, print final list. So here what we want to do, create a list from 1 to 10 and delete all the even numbers. It means we want to find even numbers and remove all the even numbers from the list and print the existing content. So open the program, 9.20. So in this program, you can see num, an empty list is created. By using for loop, we run the range function. All the elements are appended in the num function. Then the list of numbers is printed on the screen. After printing the original list, we use a enumerate function for index I in enumerate. So enumerate function is used to access the values from the list and as well as the index value. So enumerate function is used to access index value as well as the value element value. Yeah. So here you can see for index comma I, it means enumerate function will return two output. One is index, another one is element. So in this program we are using the I for as an index number and try to find if the value is even, and if the value is even, by using the delete function we remove the element by using the index value. So enumerate function is used to get two values of a single element. One is index value, another one is element. So by after that we get the output. So here you can see, so original list is 1 to 10. So index enumerate function will return the two values. One is index and I. By using an index and I value, we find the even number, and whenever we find any even number is removed from the list by using del function, and finally the balance list elements are displayed on the screen. The new concept is the new function which was used in this program is enumerate function. I repeat, enumerate function will return two values of a element in a list. The two values are, one is index number of the element, another one is value of the element. So here you can see index comma I. So first it will return index value of the element. Second, enumerate function will return the value of the element. That's why we specify the first value as index, second value as I. So by using this enumerate function we can access the list. Now we are going to understand the last program of this topic, that is 9.21. Write a program to generate in the Fibonacci series and store it in a list, then find the sum of all values. Of course, last year we know what is Fibonacci series and how to add the elements in the Fibonacci series. Now we are going to see the same program in Python language. So Fibonacci series of course starts from 0. The first value of the Fibonacci series is 0. The second value of the Fibonacci series 1. So this is the rule of Fibonacci series. The first value is 0, second value is 1. The next value are the sum of previous two values. It means the third value of the Fibonacci series is 1 because we want to add 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. The fourth value of the Fibonacci series is previous two values sum. So 1 plus 1, 2. Then the fifth element of the Fibonacci series is 3 because previous two values sum is 1 plus 2, 3. Next value is 5. Next value is 8. Next value is 13. So each and every element after the second value is the sum of previous two elements. This is the rule of Fibonacci series. So by using this Fibonacci rule, we create here a Fibonacci series. This by using while function and printed on the screen, and by using the sum function we also add all the Fibonacci series element and printed the content. Here you can see, enter the number of element which you want to generate in the Fibonacci series. So I mentioned 10. So here you can see 0, 1, 2. So this one is the default rule. The third element is 1 because 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. Fourth element is 2 because 1 plus 1, 2. And next element is 3 because 1 plus 2 is 3. So in the same way you can see 10 elements are generated, and then all the elements of this Fibonacci series added and printed on the screen. It means 0 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3, 3 plus 5. So all the elements are added and printed on the screen. So this is how we create a Fibonacci series in the Python program. The same logic is used here, which was discussed in C++ program. So I hope you understand the list concept and as well as the example programs in the in this session. If you have any doubt, contact me. Try to execute all the program in your system and understand the concept list. This one is very useful. Don't waste your time. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.